小村くん、こっち見て。嬉しそうな顔。小村くん、本当に嬉しいんだ。
The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses is an anime where the title pretty much sums up the whole show, cause that's exactly what happens and what it's about. And while I found it pretty enjoyable and funny, it's not without its controversy. Some anime fans aren't feeling it, with some even hating on the MC for how he acts, while others just aren't vibing with the anime in general. But hey, with all the hate it gets, I'll let you be the judge. So, without wasting any more time, I present to you The Girl I Like Forgot Her Glasses. Kamura's got a major crush on his classmate Mi. The thing is, Mi's got pretty bad eyesight, so she wears contacts to see the world clearly. One day, disaster strikes. She forgets her glasses at home and asks Kamura for help since everything's a blur. She needs him to grab a book from her bag, and as he's digging through it, he gets hella aware of how close they are. Dude's mad nervous, so he quickly hands her the book and retreats to his desk fast. Next up, he tries lending her his own book, but Mi wants to share it. She scooches in real close, and Kamura's overwhelmed, accidentally bumping into the wall in his rush to escape. Mi, thinking he doesn't want to share, makes him move back close, and now he's stuck.
ちょっと見えづらくて。
Later, Kamura bumps into Mi at her locker, and she's looking kinda down. Turns out, she's wearing the wrong shoes, Kamura's shoes to be exact. He helps her switch to the right ones and even ties her laces. That night, back home, Kamura low-key hopes she forgets her glasses again tomorrow, and as nature would have it, Kamura sees Mi without her glasses again. In class, when the teacher tries to wake Mi up from dozing off, Kamura covers for her. She later wakes up in a panic, mistaking Kamura for her dad, which had him shook.
お父さん？私のメガネ知らない？
The next day, Kamura's surprised when Mi tells him she can see him super clearly. He later overhears her chatting with a friend about trying out new contact lenses. The next morning, Mi forgets her glasses again. She tries to wear her contacts, but they're super uncomfortable. Kamura notices her struggling and tells her she doesn't have to force it. He's happy to help her out. She thanks him and they exchange digits. Over the weekend, Mi texts Kamura to meet her at the train station. When he shows up, he finds out she's lost her glasses on the train again. He teases her, saying maybe she's just not cut out for wearing glasses. Then, he helps her devour her cake and takes her to get a new pair of lenses. After that, he tries to make a quick exit, thinking his good deed is done, but Mi stops him and suggests they hang out for a bit. Kamura leaves feeling stoked after spending an amazing day with her. The next day, Kamura runs into Mi wearing a mask, her glasses all fogged up. He dips for a bit, but when he returns, she's ditched the glasses completely. He asks what's up, and she just shrugs, saying she straight up forgot them.
忘れたの。
You'd think bro would take this as a hint that she kinda likes him and just enjoys his company and help. But nah, bro makes sure you hate every minute of his screen time, cause he's gotta be the biggest disgrace to the society of alpha males. Kamura walks into class and finds Mi mistakenly calling out Azuma, one of the popular kids, by his name. After they clear up the mix-up, Azuma steps in to help since Mi can't see a thing without her glasses. The next day, they decide to play a word game to pass the time. Guess who wins? Mi, of course. During cleaning duty, Kamura spots a cockroach on the wall near Mai and tries to play it cool so she doesn't freak out. He calmly tells her to come over to him, and she does. But when another student lets out a blood-curdling scream, Mi gets startled and jumps into Kamura's arms, hugging him tight in fear. The next morning, it's raining, and Maya tells Kamura she forgot her glasses again. But Kamura notices they're literally sitting on her forehead. When she tries to grab them, they fall to the ground, and Kamura helps her put them on, blushing like crazy after touching her, making bro feel like the luckiest man on earth.
ありがとう。
The following day, Mi forgets her glasses yet again, and Kamura finds her in the hallway, struggling to figure out where to deliver a love letter she found. When he tells her it's meant for Azuma, she delivers it, and their classmates start thinking it's from her. Azuma reads the letter, and Kamura's hoping he'll realize it's not from Mi. Later, Azuma gives Mii his reply and asks Kamura to read it out loud. The reply says that Kamura has feelings for Mii too. But when Mii asks what it says, Kamura plays it cool and lies about the contents. Kamura's running late for school, and as he's sprinting to class, he spots Mii doing the same, looking a bit disheveled without her glasses. At the traffic light, he overhears her muttering to herself about how she's worried about him seeing her like this, which almost makes him lose it. Mii takes off across the street, leaving Kamura standing there, feeling a little bewildered. Later that day, Mii gets hurt during sports, and Azuma asks Kamura to escort her to the nurse's office. As they're walking, Kamura can't help but notice how close they are, and it's making him hella nervous. You'd think bro would take this chance to go for a kiss, but nah, classic Kamura makes you even hate him even more. In class, Mii asks Kamura to help her put a paper on the board, but since he's a bit short, Azuma steps in to lend a hand. Kamura can't help but feel a pang of insecurity, wishing he were taller. But Mii reassures him, saying she actually likes that he's short, cause she can look directly into his eyes.
でも最近は声でわかる時もあるよ。
The next day, Mii forgets her glasses again, and when the teacher walks into the classroom, everyone notices a heart-shaped cloud outside the window. The students start snapping pics, and later that night, Kamura sends one to Mii. The following day, she remembers her glasses, but Kamura forgets his book, so they end up sharing hers. After class, he walks her to a store to pick out new glasses to replace the ones she lost. As she's trying on different frames, Kamura thinks they all look cute on her, but when he tries to give his honest opinion, she ends up choosing a pair identical to her old ones. The day before Valentine's Day, Kamura hits up the store, hoping to cop something for Mii, but of course, she pops up out of nowhere, and he freaks out, thinking she's onto his feelings. When she asks about the red decorations, he's mad relieved to realize she's just curious about Valentine's Day. They browse the supermarket together, and she casually asks if he's into chocolate.
小村くん、私に何をもらいたいって言ってたんだっけ?
Making him wonder if she's picking up on his vibes. On Valentine's Day, Kamura watches as Mii gets showered with chocolates from her friends, and he can't help but hope she'll hook him up too. Later, she asks to meet up after school, and he's hyped when she tells him he can ask her to do anything for him since they're friends.
あのね、せめて何か代わりのものをあげたいと思って。
This is like the ultimate question that every virgin weeb dreams of being asked by their crush one day. But for some reason, Kamura suddenly goes mute and almost passes out from lack of oxygen. He barely manages to stammer out that he'll ask her when the time is right, and she ends up giving him some chocolate. The next day, Kamura promises to walk Mii to the post office after school, but when she overhears him ditching his friends to help her, she tries to play it cool and tells him she's got her contacts in, so he doesn't need to trip. But during a class switch, Mii gets lost because she refuses to accept help from anyone. Luckily, Kamura finds her, and she admits she can't see a thing.
私は別に間違ったとかでは。
She confesses that she didn't want him canceling his plans for her, but it made her happy being with him. Kamura's heart skips a beat hearing this, and he's more than down to escort her to the post office after school. As they part ways, she asks if he's into arcade games, and he's hyped to say yes. Later, Kamura links up with his boys, and the year comes to an end. He's thrilled to find out he'll be in the same class as Mii again. At the assembly, Kamura, Mii, and a few others snag perfect attendance awards.
くすぐったい。
When they move to their new third-year class, Kamura's wondering who Mii's gonna sit next to. He ends up in his usual seat, and Mii initially sits in front of him. But soon, their new classmate Hibuchi pulls a move, saying she can't see properly, letting Mii sit next to Kamura again. Kamura ends up taking Mii's glasses home after she leaves them on her desk. While chilling at home, he can't stop thinking about her every time he glances at her specs.
これもこういうことなんだもん。
見えたよ。
To make things even more awkward, she calls to thank him for holding onto them, saying it feels like she's visiting him. Now, Kamura's left tossing and turning all night with Mii's face stuck in his head. The next day, Mii rolls into class and gets a little too close, accidentally bumping her forehead into his while saying hello. She She laughs it off and apologizes, telling him a funny story about how the last time she did that as a kid, her lips accidentally met the other person's. After she takes her seat, her friend points out her bedhead, but Mii just gives up trying to fix it. She asks Kamura how she looks, and he reassures her she's looking fine. As the day goes on, it starts pouring outside, and Kamura complains about a shoulder ache. Mii offers to give him a massage, saying he's always looking out for her.
無になれ無だ心頭滅却しろ
He ends up dozing off at his desk, and when he wakes up, he finds Mii holding his hand. She explains she wanted to take care of him since she's wearing her glasses. She spreads her hands out, telling him to take a good look at her too. But of course, Kamura being Kamura almost passes out and ends up stammering that he's good. On his way home, Kamura spots Mii sitting on a swing, waiting for her mom because she forgot her keys. She asks him to give her a push, and even though it's low-key a workout,
前から見えているのでは
he agrees. The next day at school, while they're rearranging their desks, Mii finds Komura's App Store card and gives it back to him, leaving him wondering what's running through her mind. Later that night, Mii calls Kamura from a sleepover, saying she's lost inside the house and can't find the bathroom. She asks him to sing for her, so he starts belting out the school song. He stops midway when his mom walks by, then resumes once she's gone. They say their goodbyes after Mii finally finds her way. The next day, Kamura spots Azuma with a girl and tries to sneak a peek. Just as he's about to get a good look, a cat walks up to him and Mii appears, calling out to the cat. Kamura's anxiety spikes, thinking she might crash Azuma and his girl's vibe. But luckily, the cat distracts her and she walks away. Seizing the moment, Kamura pulls her behind a tree, blushing like crazy at how close they are. Mii realizes she almost interrupted the couple and laughs it off. Meanwhile, Kamura hopes that one day he'll get the courage to confess his feelings to her. When the students are told to form groups of 6 for the field trip, Mii and Kamura's friends suggest they team up, just in case Mii forgets her glasses. On the day of the trip, disaster strikes when Mii breaks her main pair, but she reassures everyone she's got a backup. During the trip, Kamura notices Mii still can't see a thing and steps in to help. He hands her the menu to read and lets her write the report while telling her to join the others. But of course, Mii gets lost and they end up texting each other to meet back up. When they finally find each other, Mii starts crying, apologizing for being a bother, but Kamura reassures her that he actually loves helping her out. The next day at school, Mii apologizes again and mentions she's trying to get used to wearing contacts, but Kamura tells her that he low-key enjoys being relied on. After school, Mii bumps into Kamura and confesses the contacts are super uncomfortable and she'd rather he just keep helping her. It's funny how Mii's IQ drops to 0 as soon as she forgets her glasses, cause we all know stuff like that never happens in real life. The next day, during sports, Mii takes a tumble after slipping on a ball. Kamura rushes her to the nurse's office, where she's told to take it easy for a bit. As they're chillin' in the nurse's office, Mii confesses that she missed hanging out with Kamura and then drops a bombshell. She wants to get a good look at his face every day when she forgets her glasses. Kamura's taken aback but agrees, and Mii stares at his face until his palms start getting sweaty.
嬉しそうだからいいけど
Later, while they're cleaning the classroom, Mii's hair gets tangled in a locker nut, and Kamura volunteers to cut her loose. Afterward, her ribbon falls to the ground, and as Kamura picks it up, she suddenly asks him to help tie her hair. When class ends, the rain starts pouring down, and the students stick around to prep for the cultural festival. Mii's struggling to get the newspaper decorations right, so Kamura offers to grab some glue. She follows him to a quiet room, where she reminds him that she still hasn't gotten a good look at his face. Despite the risks, Kamura lets her take a peek. The next morning, Mii shows off her handiwork to Kamura, an item she made for the cultural festival. Later, while they're setting up in the gym, Kamura overhears Mii telling a friend that she gets in trouble if she misses her 6 o'clock curfew. The students decide to stick around until 7 to finish their work. When Mii sees Kamura chatting with another girl, she decides to hang back. However, Kamura's worried about Mii getting in trouble, so he hides behind a curtain, making her think he's already left. When Mii can't find him, she grabs her phone and takes off. Kamura follows her, noticing she's wearing the wrong shoes. He swaps them out for the right ones and continues to follow her home. When her mom scolds her for being late, Kamura covers for her, saying it was because of the shoes. At the exhibit, Kamura finds himself zoning in on Mi's artwork. Later, during the student gathering in the gym, he notices Mi slipping out and follows her. He finds her sitting on a bench and she calls him over. When she tries to get a good look at his face, he stops her, worried they might get caught. But she insists since she's wearing her glasses. She tells him she'll try to hold back from now on and not get too carried away. But Kamura tells her not to stop.
みえさんのことを見ていたいよ。
Mi asks Kamura what he wants to be when he grows up, and he freaks out because he has no clue. He doesn't want her to know, but when he finds out she's in the same boat, he realizes they're not so different after all. At home, Kamura starts digging through his old childhood albums, wondering if he ever had a dream or passion. During home economics class, he gets a little salty seeing Mi getting cozy with Azuma. After class, Mi says goodbye to him, and the girls start grilling her about what they talked about. Feeling a pang of jealousy, Kamura grabs his bag and takes off, walking a little too fast. But Mia catches up to him and hands him some snacks, saying she thought he might be hungry.
小村くんに食べて欲しかったのはね。
At home, Kamura continues flipping through his old photos. The next day in class, one of the photos falls out, and his friend picks it up. They start checking it out, laughing about how Kamura had a nosebleed and was bawling his eyes out on the bars. Mi squints, trying to get a good look, but she can't see a thing. After school, they walk home together and stop by the bars to play around. She grabs her glasses and asks to see the photo, looking a little down when he says he left it at school. She asks why he was crying in the photo, and he explains that he tried to do a backflip but face planted. She encourages him to try again, and this time he nails it. They take some photos together, and she tries a backflip but ends up failing miserably. Kamura gets busted by his friends for staring at Mi, lost in thought about how ridiculously soft her hair looks. At lunch, he can't help but notice her hair is a mess, and he lets her know she's got rice stuck in it after she takes out her ribbon. After school, they walk home together, and she's going on about this flapjack octopus she's obsessed with. As they part ways, Kamura catches a glimpse of some guy trying to get Mi's attention, and he can't help but wonder if the dude's hitting on her. The next morning, Kamura notices Mi forgot her glasses again, so they end up sharing a desk to use one book. She's chatting about some friend from elementary school she ran into the day before. When the teacher announces the entrance exams and closing day, Kamura tells her not to be forgetting her glasses. He mentions that they won't be hanging out much over summer break because of his family trip, and he can't help but wonder if she'll even remember him once she stops forgetting her glasses. The day after exams, Mi and Kamura walk home together and decide to stop by the park. She drags him onto the slide, and things get a little weird when she touches his face, making him touch hers too.
それだけじゃ嫌になってる。
After they send each other the photo they took at the park, they climb out of the slide, and Mi tells him not to forget about her over summer break. Kamura stops her and says he wants to see her face again during the break, and it's clear he's got feelings for her.
俺、明日もみえさんの顔が見たい。
When I was deciding to watch the anime, I had mixed emotions because I thought it was just one of those slice-of-life shows that you watch and feel nothing. But boy, how wrong I was. Watching it, you start to notice the chemistry between these two. Some might call it a love story, while others might call it boring love. And when it comes to the two characters, you'll see that Kamura is a clear representation of every normal teenage boy. As it is always hard to make the first move, even if your crush is sending all the signals, cause you still stay unsure, thinking about all the what-ifs, which also comes with the fear of catching an L. On the other hand, Mi is a good representation of a teenage girl, cause they're always told by society that girls don't make the first move. So, despite Mi always having glasses situation the entire time, she was just being a girl. That's why I enjoyed this slice of life, as it's a clear representation of what it means to be a teenager. For that reason, I recommend you give it a try yourself and come back to give your honest, uncensored take on the show. If you loved the video, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel.